One other question I had was that if this was an interstellar probe, as you said the other day, the signal is slowing down as the vehicle is approaching the...
No, the tone is falling in frequency.
There you are. Frequency is falling. Has there been any, I'm sure there's wild speculation, but is there any indication of what this signal is? Has anybody been able to decipher in any way what the signal may be?
It doesn't appear to be modulated. It appears to be a carrier that is basically just a tone to signify the presence of something. But in fact, the information may be transmitted on another set of frequencies, and because everyone's been focused on this narrow part of the spectrum, maybe other people have knowledge about where to look, but the amateur community doesn't, because they're taking all their cues from Paul Dorr and his so-called detection.
And while all that's going on, it should be noted that SETI, the SETI League, has said basically this is all a hoax, and it has set back SETI 100 years.
And at the same time, the Australian facility, the ATCA, all 6 of their 22-meter antennas are mysteriously down for maintenance.
All of a sudden. That's right. Mm-hmm. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Richard C. Hoagland. Hi.
Good morning. This is Wanda in North Carolina.
Hello, Wanda.
Yes, I'm your twin, born the same day. Richard, I wanted to ask you, the implosion that happened on the 27th of August that we found out about in September.
You mean the big gamma ray burst?
Yes.
Okay.
Was that not the very same day that the rocket blew up on launch down in Cape Canaveral?
You know, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the videos.
I believe it was, and that payload carried the plutonium.
Oh, no, it did not carry plutonium. Art actually had me check that out, and we know that that was not an accurate report.
It did blow up. The spacecraft indeed
blew up, but it was not carrying plutonium.
Thank God. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Richard C. Hoagland. Hi.
Yeah, hi, Art, and good evening, Richard. Good evening, Art, and 73, you and your family there. I have a couple comments and a couple questions real quick here.
All right.
One of the comments is 415, known in law enforcement code as civil disturbance.
Oh,
which
that's
is
interesting.
Yes, it is.
No, that is very interesting.
Yeah, it's very.
Remember, on midnight on Thursday, day after, 24 hours from now and change, the Clinton executive orders, which would remove all impediments to sweeping declaration of martial law, goes into effect. And if there is any trigger, any event, any untoward, we just basically issued indictments for bin Laden, right? So if something were to happen after midnight tomorrow night, the president could sign with one stroke of the pen the executive orders putting in place the most draconian, and I mean, go to the website, they are draconian measures.
Very fascinating, and that about figures with Clinton in there. Let's see here. 2 questions for you here. My name's Don. I'm calling from Chandler, Arizona, listening on 770 KKOB out of New Mexico. Being in Chandler, kind of curious, was there any more information on where the alleged landing site or what have you is north of Phoenix?
There is, and I'm deliberately holding it back. I'm hoping that someone will call in tonight with more specifics that we can use that to check and test against.
Okay, because I had missed part of that conversation there
I can report one important thing. Art, we had a team take a light aircraft and fly over the site yesterday with video cameras. And there is intriguing evidence of something being prepared.
I'm almost afraid to tell you this, Richard, but I have several email communications about preparations going on in the area that you're talking about.
Okay. We also had another communication last night when I went off the air. You know, my email gets, or not email, but voicemail gets wonderful messages. there was a specific communication of a date when we should start looking for significant troop movements. And I'm going to hold that date back as well, because for those who don't want us to know, they won't know that we're getting real data. And for those that do know that we're onto it, they already know what they need to know, so we don't need to tell them.
Okay. Wildcard line, you're on the air with Richard C. Hoagland. Hi.
Oh, hi, Richard. Let's see. Like we're moving into like the Aquarian age, but it's not only an age that occurs once every 2,600 years.
Let me stop you there, because you just triggered a memory. Do you remember back some 30 years ago when Apollo 13 tried to leave for the moon?
Oh, yes.
And was launched at 1313?
Well, I don't remember that fact, but I remember.
No, it was. It's all part of the database. That 13 is, by the way, part of the physics and part of the mythology. The point is that the insignia, the official Apollo 13 patch, was 7 Pegasuses.
Really?
Yes. 7 Pegasi, I guess you would call them.
Pegasi.
7 is tetrahedral. Pegasus is connected via this set of numbers to the physics in the mythology. And what happened to Apollo 13?
A lot of bad stuff. Yeah.
All right. They almost died.
Almost, yeah.
What were the spacecraft of Apollo 13 called? Aquarius, signifying the transition between ages.
Oh, yeah.
And the Odyssey. Now, was it the Odyssey harking back to the Grecian mythos, or was it the Odyssey harking back to Arthur C. Clarke and aliens tinkering with human evolution and paying us a visit?
How's that for you, caller?
Oh, yeah. Like it's, we're entering a cycle that occurs not only 2,160 years, but it's a period that occurs only 13,000 years.
That's
going
right.
Back to the 10,000, and going back to, was it 10,500 BC?
Mm-hmm.
Graham Hancock saying that possibly that's the time when the pyramids and the Sphinx were built, because the Sphinx aligns with Leo, pyramids, Orion.
Well, remember, we have a whole historical and mythological and legendary context for this. It's called the Atlantean Epic. And NASA, as I've said many times, has a shuttle named Atlantis.
Certainly does.
Why?
Richard, on that note, we are woefully out of time.
Again.
What I want to do, though, is obviously there's a tremendous amount of interest around this, whether it's a hoax, whether it's a cover for something else, whatever it is, it's something, as I keep saying, and I'm holding on to this like a pit bull, this story, until I figure it out. In the meantime, why don't you give out your fax number for anybody who would now like to feed you information?
Absolutely. Area code 505-771-0820.
Okay. One more time.
505-771-0820.
And I think we should also issue a general call for anybody with an azimuth elevation dish and the ability to listen in the right area.
Now, we will put on the website a projection of the decreasing frequency and the geometric location in the sky where one should point your telescopes, because it's not at EQ Peg anymore, and it's not at 1453. It's exactly on the projected curve for a zero arrival in Arizona in December.
December 7th.
December
actually.
7th.
So they can check your website, but we do want to enlist worldwide the efforts of anybody who has the capability to listen.
Well, the fact that all these professional antennas are suddenly going down and need maintenance all of a sudden, I find pretty interesting, don't you?
Yes. Yes, the world is so full of coincidence, isn't it? And synchronicity. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, all right.
Well, coincidence also is a C word.
We haven't solved anything tonight, but at least we have updated everybody on what's going on, and it's pretty weird, Richard.
Let me leave you with one last thought.
Sure.
Watch Florida sometime on Friday.
Watch
Something
Florida.
major
Friday.
could occur.
Florida on Friday. All right. As usual, leaving us with a mystery. Richard, good night.
Thank you, my friend.
See you next time.
Okay.
All right. There you have it, folks. Another visit with Richard. Florida on Friday, huh? Well, all right. right, tomorrow night, Dr. Roger Lear, Whitley Strieber, some witnesses, and General A, and one of the most remarkable continuation of one of the most remarkable stories you've ever heard. It's all about Rocketdyne and what's going on there on a continuing basis. For now, from the high desert, I'm Art Bell. Good night.